questions now. Fuck, I don't even know how to ask you. I told you guys on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and press the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. I asked you guys to send me some questions, some really personal, juicy questions, and you guys did just that. So the first question is, being high make you horny? Does making high make me horny?
Yes. Well, yeah.
What about being high?
Not as much.
It makes me hungry, huh? So yeah.
אבל למה זה צ'נל כמו פטרו מקוברת? שם שש לה, לא יודע, חמד, ממד.
CMB, Simon J, pitcha na nagroda. Za Boga, imate głowa, a sam ludzie szynowa, wlizaj sam w groba. Cielesimy seks roba.
Hello Summoners and welcome back to another Pro Guides Patch Rundown. My name is Christoph and today I'll be going over all the changes that were made in patch 9.18. I'll cover all the details, including a tier list for each role that was made by our in-house analysts and partnered pro players. There were a ton of changes this patch which raised a lot of questions. Are the new Star Guardian skins finally available? Are Garen and Teemo getting reworked? Are Aatrox, Akali, and Kai'Sa finally being gutted? Don't worry, we got you guys covered and we'll answer all these questions in this video. But remember, since the patch just hit the live servers, please do keep in mind that these tier lists are purely predictions. We encourage all our viewers to comment on our lists below and say if you agree or disagree with us on certain champion placements. To give you guys recently, take your game out this patch. Got started and really not game for a lot of issues and he's being toned down significantly this patch. His passive, Deathbringer's stance, will have its healing towards minions nerfed from 100% effectiveness to 25%. In addition to this, his Q, the Darkened Blade, will have its damage to minions reduced from 50 to 100% to 40% at all levels. These nerfs are aimed at targeting a Aatrox's safety during the laning phase. However, it does much anticipated mini rework. However, they are compensating the Teemo mains with some small buffs and quality of life changes in patch 9.18. His ultimate Noxious Trap will no longer trigger on inactive Scuttle Crabs, and the total amount of shrooms you can hold at once has been increased from 3 updated with his... The top lane tier list doesn't see too many changes in patch 9.18. In our S tier, we have Pantheon, Darius, Jax, Vladimir, Mordekaiser, and Renekton. Pantheon's win rate, play rate, and ban rate have been increasing by a ton recently, and he's solidified his stance as one of the strongest top laners in the game. His poke, burst, CC, roam potential, and safety are what makes him so good in this meta, and our analysts highly recommend you try him out. In our S plus tier, as always, we have Kled. A few patches ago, Kled had a huge buff to his Q, which added a 60% healing reduction on targets he successfully yanks. With champs like Darius, Jax, Vladimir, Renekton, Illaoi, and Aatrox in the meta, having that healing reduction makes him the best counter to all of these. Akali received some huge nerfs this patch, and we'll make sure to cover that in our mid lane section, so stay tuned. For now, we've placed her in the B tier because her ability to poke and zone her melee counter. Alright, now moving on to the jungle. Evelynn has been a strong pick in the recent meta and is looking to become even stronger this patch. Her ultimate Last Caress will have its damage amplifier against low health targets increased from 100% to 140%. In addition to this, the empowered damage has also been increased from 250 to 750 with a 1.5 scaling to 300 to 900 with a 1.8 scaling. These are some huge buffs for her which will help her one-shot tanky champions such as Sejuani, Olaf, and J4. On top of that, it'll make securing or stealing objectives like Baron or Dragon so much easier for her since you'll have the same damage as 2 smites. Evelynn will be placed in our S plus tier for patch 9.18, and we highly recommend you pick or ban her. Alright, Lee Sin has held a decent stance in the meta recently and is one of the most played junglers in League of Legends. For patch 9.18, Lee is looking to receive a buff to his ultimate and base stats. His base HP has been increased by goal. He will be level has been lowered for rank in the mid lane section. Alright, and before we get into the mid lane, if you are a mid laner yourself, you have to go to ProGuides.com. We have a ton of great resources to help you out, including an amazing course with former C9 pro mid laner Hai. And you can also just get a challenger mid lane coach right now to help you take your gameplay to the next level. Oh, here we go again. Akali is receiving another set of changes this patch, which will likely gut her from the mid lane meta. Her ultimate Perfect Execution will have its R2 bonus damage lowered from 85 to 65, and the cooldown of this ability has been increased by 40 seconds. In addition to that, the micro stun on Perfect Execution has been removed, which means that specific matchups in the mid lane like Katarina will become so much harder. These are some really big nerfs to Akali, and unfortunately she will be dropped down into the C tier this patch. I'm sorry, Akali mains. Annie is receiving a set of controversial changes this patch. Her E, Molten Shield, will now grant her 25 to 50% movement speed that decays over 1.5 seconds. However, as a compensation nerf, Molten Shield will have its damage reduction nerfed from 16 to 40% to 10 to 22%, and the cooldown has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. The bonus movement speed is really
הבן אדם הזה צ'נט כמו אמפט הוא מקובבת. שם 16, לא יודע, חמד, ממד.
Simon J, pitcha na nagroda. Asa Boga, imate głowa. Sam ludzie szynoba, wlizaj sam w groba. Cielesy my seks roba. Mafieta Noriega, podchaj sam wam fala. Zadeka, dura bolet. Nie warta gigarbym. Kaczy ciasno. Nie garbym samochód, by asan żaboka. name Lil Wayne, my man. I'm not your fucking friend. That game bang. I just bang out. Hold the phone and show shame. This not the little prison break. I saw motherfucking skater. I got swagger. Baba Yaga, rubber shit, samo mota jaga. A burgaska to jaga. Ta kurwa nisi laga. Sound on it to napalam. Направо ще става повкарам. Като Audi S8. Аз се заливам на стерео с восък. Ей, кучко, на задни къси имаш косъм. Ай са, да, хай, виж, аз съм. I'm the motherfucking boss. Аз не пуша гост. И мога да направя чупен твоя гармански лага бунга. Лага, 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 лага бунга. Свалям тематика, защото почва рунда. Лага, лага, лага бунга. Срещу нас не мигай, даже за секунда. Рунден непокист, пълен шемет. Всички като ме видят си викат гаддемет. И нема е бе дали си мой майна или лек. Винаги бъди готов за акция респект. Слаб си ми щото отдалече че не си ми на нивото. В главата лёко. Внимай ко говориш да не захапеш дървото. На остров Кос ходя гол и боз. В ръката с гол чук магнанос. Топък тежко като Рик Рос. Лага бунга, лага, 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 лага бунга. Свалям тематика, защото почва руда. Лага, лага, лага бунга. Срещу нас не мигай, даже за секунда. Ай сега слушай, аз трябва не пуша. Мога да та улуча от километри. Няма да се пееш, мислиш, че бъдете Томи Джери. Яш гората, бъскай са, яш търси горси блубери. So fucking scary, чели па намери. Никой не може да те намери. Във Варненската гора, мане, да ме свиква, гледай Бютов, да. Ай сега слушай направо, живо покарам. Аз ще бъде две се стреми, като вода барам. Ай сега искаш и да те гримирам. Аз те патрулирам, аз мога да се трансформирам. Yeah, motherfucking Megatron. Аз съм Дон Корион, аз съм King Kong, директamente Hong Kong. Пуша бялото на бонг. Майка ти шиба, играй китайски пинг-понг. Да, пуси джуз, да, ай, овчарски скок. Майка ти шиба и заш, моя петисон. Има пяле, твоя мазен зор. Майка ти шиба направо, да, влизам до лирата на смата. Да, аз съм шибаната, бургаска сатана. Искаш ли кръста, янко са, мама се, мама са, мама коса. Бъскай за газа, разтръскай са, маляк са, рай. Ей са тук да полз, мана вака. Твата ми злати ми предлага. Аз съм Саймън, че е миро, Ескобар, Бира. Аз съм още по 15 да е бос. Аз майка ти шибаш, то на това да ходиш в гората, холи той. Да, ай заминавай, раза вълнава, райсен. Аз съм мазда, мами деки. Няма да се правиш ти на големи спортисти. Трябва да правя бъдести, гимнастички. Ей, тия шибаните боласки, малки пишки. Шибаните мишки, острати ми са в газа. Да, бях на Кашмир, аз съм събраните и не търся мир, а война. Слушай, лага бунга, лага, 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 лага бунга. Свалям тематика, защото почва руда. Лага, лага, лага бунга. Срещу нас не мигай, даже за се хамър on the dresser, work on the stone. I see blood go from my nose. I see naked, аз си пица expression, аз сега да рок impression. Гранди били Ариана Гранде и Ники Минаш. Ще ги чукам без скалата, твърка тупа ваш. Варненски стъпълни далавери, с черни панамери. So fucking scary. Криси пича, да зарови брат. Никой няма да намери трудок от Марс. С една комета и разбра, че тази планета работи с сестям с джета. Ай сега са будки, са бургаски яшарист. Китайски муингист, яш мляко с бис. Лерете мете Хонг-Конг, душа бяла туна бомб. Майка ти шиба и грей китайски пинг-понг. Лага бунга, лага, 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 лага.
I can't. You need to relax. Who does a girl have to kill to start a new war? You don't see nothing. Get right down. I like the happy ones. Things aren't gonna do to you. Someday. Touch me. One touch with desire. That's all I need. Let's see. Are you lonely? I can help.